Why is Uranus important? We got to say this again. I say, why is Uranus important? Uranus, higher mind. We talking about the oddball, the weirdo. We talking about the one who feel different, the one feel like they don't belong in this world, the one who people see different. Why is this planet, this personality, this energy is so important? It's so important because Uranus is the super consciousness, the super mind. This that mind where it just gets psychic energy out of nowhere. All of a sudden energy. I'm talking about like lightning, like thunder, like brah. So if you got this part of your personality, this is gonna make some big deal in your life because this deal with change, beautiful people. This deal with change. This deal with your dreams coming true through vision. And what kind of vision? You can see. You're a visionary. You are the kings and queens of manifestation with this planet. And so we talking about the ego that fly. This that Uranus, the one who fly any type of way out of nowhere. This that Uranus. A person on the path, they don't know where they're going, but they create something out of it, and next thing you know, it's like a miracle. It's like amazing. It's like a shock to you. These people shock the world. So we talking about those with Uranus energy. So anybody who got who got Uranus in their chart will shock the world and shock themselves. But also, unexpected things happen for them. All of a sudden, awakening after all the bad they go through. All of a sudden, awakening after all the good they go through. All of a sudden, change in their life. So they just don't stay at one thing. Cause change is always there with this Uranus energy. So we talking about Uranus or Uranus, some call it. We talking about this the energy that deals with the higher mind, that visualize and manifest from that mind. They got the persistence to manifest anything that they choose right here. So this is very powerful placement. You cannot trap this energy. This energy is forever flowing. It flow like electricity because this energy represents electricity. It represents the higher mind, the advanced mind. It represents technology. It represents the future and what is to come. It represents from the higher mind, the genius, the intuitive genius. So those who have this placement, these are your intuitive genius. These are your scientists. These are the ones into science, astrology, into arts, into numerology, into things that's different than the norm. They don't act like the norm. These are the ones that you could never fully get them to be purely and strictly religion because they don't want to be trapped in the box, period. Because this that sign who going to go off the scale, going to go off the meter. They're going to do their own thing. They don't operate like the norm. They hate to be trapped. These are very independent people. We're talking about this planet or this sign, which is the planet that I'm talking about, which is Uranus. And so I know a lot of you say sign, well, planet. This planet, Uranus, is what I'm talking about. Uranus is that universal mind, the universal thinking, that humanitarian thinking. They see problems all around them. They see problems that they want to help change. Cause deal with change, deal with them freedom, like freedom fighting for others' freedom, fighting for their own freedom. So this is very important. So these people are very rebellious. They're rebellious against something that they don't even know they're rebellious about. They just rebel for the sake of it sometimes. They might rebel. You might tell them to do one thing, they do the opposite. You see? They're so rebellious. You might say one thing and they'll do the opposite and prove to you that they're not going to do as you speak or as you say. Because it's that energy to deal with rebellion and doing their own thing. And they do better when they are unique, when they do their own thing. They can't be nobody else because they won't move right. They won't be right. They ain't going to give you their full potential unless they're doing their own thing. So they have to be the boss of their own destiny. So these people are their own business owners. They are the ones who create their own jobs. But also these people are who we need in life, who would change how things work in politics, who will change how things work in the industry, who will change how things work in the world itself, because they always pouring out the truth, so they will shatter people who fake, and they will shatter the falsehood or religion and everything that's false, that's fake and that's false. They will shadow it with truth, point it out to the world. So these are the ones who knowledgeable, who love knowledge, who love information, who get downloads of information out of nowhere, don't know where it come from. They just got the answer. They might ask a question and might don't have it right then and there. Then all of a sudden, they know the answer. I got the answer. I got it. They very much claircognizance and also clairvoyance. They can see the big picture. They are your visionaries. And so with this energy here, they are the ones who people think is dumb, stupid, or a fool, but come to find out, these people are geniuses. They are some of the smartest people on the planet, if not the smartest people on the planet. And so people will see them as a fool because they're different. Where people can't understand them because they're on a higher level of thinking. So this energy is very important. Because this is a planet of revolutionary. These are your revolutionaries who will fight for a cause to change the way things is. Your freedom fighters. And also, these people are the ones who will create something new. No matter if it's in art, science, whatever it's in. They bring new things to the table. Even create, this energy will create opportunities. If you got Uranus, a lot of Uranus energy in your chart. If this your dominant sign, if this your rising sign, if you got Aquarius as your sun sign, Aquarius as your moon sign, Aquarius as your rising sign, or a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this is you. If you got a lot of Uranus in your chart, if Uranus is your dominant planet, this is you. If you got Uranus in the first house, this is you. And the rest of you who have Uranus, listen to these placements as I continue to speak about Uranus and what it is. It deals with your unique self, your different self. So when people want to find the difference, your different self in the areas of life that you operate on, you got to look at the zodiac sign. You got to look at the house. So how unique is you? For me, my uniqueness is Scorpio. My Scorpio self, being the researcher, being the one who different in the Scorpio way, who can see through the BS, who break the taboos when it comes to people telling lies and breaking the taboos of falsehood. So that what Scorpio do, expose it, come hard. And also breaking the taboos of what they say about sex and what they say about this. Because that's what Scorpio do. So whatever sign Uranus in, it will show your unique self, your higher mind. It will show how you change. All of that. How you awakening. So my awakening power is the Scorpio put the stain on falsehood, put the stain on lies, and the stain on BS. So I'm gonna go on through and speak on Uranus in all the houses. You know what I mean? But if this is Uranus in the first house, this deal with Aries. You know what I'm saying? This is yourself, your personality. But right now, I'm going to continue to talk about Uranus a little bit, give you more on Uranus so you can understand it more. Uranus. When you see somebody with the Uranus energy, they be the people with different hairstyles, different styles. And you like, to some of you, just like weird, or to some of you might say it's stupid, or some of you might say try to clown this energy, but at the same time, it's unique, it's different. But even though to you it might sound different, it might sound odd and all this other stuff, but people take a liking to it. And sometimes also this the energy where you say, dog, I haven't thought of that. I don't think nobody thought of an idea like that. So these individuals is very powerful in the way they think, which is different and unique. So this is a little bit about Uranus right here. Because this energy is very powerful. And so they manifest from being original, from being unique, from being their unique self. This is the type of energy and people you cannot predict. They're unpredictable. It's the unpredictable energy, but also this could be very reckless and they could have a very odd behavior, weird, eccentric behavior. But also the people could be undisciplined. So they don't follow no guideline. No book. They can go off the book. They do best when they are not so fixed in something, because they're here to create something new and start something new and to be that genius and to invent and to share this knowledge and share this truth. And so this sign, Uranus, represents being friendly, being kind. It represents their firm opinions. Also, they strong dislikes and very inventive and innovative people. They are analytical, like I say. And so I have this as my second decan, my second decan in Libra. I'm a Libra. My second decan is Aquarius. So I understand this very well. So these people, they love knowledge. They come up with unusual ideas, and they can mix up ideas and put it together and bring you something that's new, something that you never heard of, but it's the truth. So this is the type of energy you're dealing with. They deal with hopes, they deal with dreams, they deal with wishes and all that there. So very much. So we talking about this energy, they can feel it in their head. They can feel this energy flowing through their head and through their circular system, because they deal with the circular system. Also, they can feel it through their legs, their shins, and their ankles and stuff like that, the energy. Because this deals with Uranus and Aquarius energy right here. And so we speak of this energy. We got this dominant in your chart. This is what we're dealing with. If we got this as your sun sign, you got Aquarius as your sun sign, moon, or rising, or as your midheavens, or is it dominant in your chart? This is what I'm talking. I'm talking to you. So, and also those who want to hear about Uranus in general. So this is a sign that could be very contradiction. They can contradict themselves a lot. They say one thing and do another, because sometimes they don't know where the energy gonna go right here. So Uranus is very important energy right here in his life, because they create something, a new change. I mean, but it's on a higher status, like a higher vibration, a higher frequency, higher status. So it's deal with the intellect. It deal with communication. So express themselves. They do it very well. Express themselves. They're very creative, and they come up with ideas that people never thought of. So this is why Uranus is so important. And so they are your visionary, your dreamers, who love to dream, love to be in their imaginative mind. But these people have the universal thoughts, electrical energy. It's I know with these people. It's like the Aquarius sign. I know with the Uranus is I know, claircognizance. They're more like your idealistic humanitarians who concerned with things on a larger scale. They're concerned with issues on a larger scale and things like that. So you gotta understand they Uranus is part of the water bearer energy, which is pouring out the truth, but it also represents what? The way the energy flow freely. So the way it flows freely through the circular system through your body, right? But also it represents creation and the giving of life. So they find new ways to make you feel like you're living, feel like life when you're in these people's presence. But also they can be very blunt and very harsh, but they gonna speak their truth. However, to some people, these people who have this Uranus energy could be wacky or weird. It is different. They don't even seem like they don't feel like they're here. They feel like extraterrestrial beings. They don't even feel like they're here. They're beyond the earth. They feel like metaphysics beyond the physics. So right here, they stay in that higher mind, but they also practical, which they can become very earthly. They can manifest in their ideas from their thoughts, from their minds. So we talking about these people right here. They like to travel, but they also love to relax at home. So we got to understand with them is give or take right here. They can appear to be detached, but also they reserved it. They could appear to be cold, but they also warm. You see, it go either way. So you never know how this energy bring right here. But the thing is, one thing you do know, they are reliable. They are loyal if they love you, if they're in your life. So they have a few friends, and when they do have friends, they know who they friends because they can read your mind. They're very smart, very clever, and they have a scientific mind and also a artistic mind. So they can be your creative artists. So these definitely are your communicators, so they can communicate very well, express themselves very well. Some of them speak very fast, and some of them speak balanced. So they speak many ways. They could change it up just like a Gemini or a Libra. what is Uranus energy, or Mercury, or a Venus person. So Uranus, the Uranus people are definitely your truth tellers, and these are the ones who will give out their opinions and speak when not spoken to out of turn, because Uranus deal with that off balance energy, where sometimes they don't feel like it's in rhythm, but it's putting things right back in rhythm. You see, so they can speak out of turn and stuff like that. But they also are the type where they don't need to speak to nobody. They'll speak to themselves. They'll talk to themselves all throughout the day. So they will entertain their own thoughts, their own mind, but they need mental stipulation. They need their mind to be stipulated by something. So they deal with wisdom, like sharing wisdom. Also, they are the seeker of knowledge. They got the reasonable thinking, where they reason out things. They reason out things. They're good at, and also they open minded, where they will talk about anything. This is a sign that deals with communication, deal with thoughts, deal with the higher mind. And so they gift is dealing with vision. So they are the visionary who can see the big picture. And also being in their imaginative mind state, and also getting ideas out of nowhere. So they're very claircognizant. And so they can read you like a book. They already know what you want. They know what you're gonna do, and they can sometimes call you out before you can even do things. You're like, how they know? They can like call you out before you even speak. You just about to say that word. You're like, I just about to say that, and they said it before you said it, because this is the type of energy it brings right here, and the way they speak will be different. To you, it's like it's not normal, so you'll think they're crazy, but they're not. They might even speak and sound crazy, even look crazy, or anything, but these people are very smart right here. So with this energy here, it's that good energy right here. So you might think that it's odd, but what you don't know don't mean that it's crazy, don't mean that it's stupid. You just don't know about it, because it's different. It's different energy. So one thing about this energy, they so true to themselves, being unique and being their original self, is that it don't matter where they go, they remain themselves. They remain who they are. They won't be nobody but them. So that's the thing. Especially if it's Aquarius moon, they definitely gonna be themselves naturally. They don't need to remind themselves, because naturally it's still in their emotions, still in their natural instincts. And also rising sign off the rift, they're gonna be themselves. If it's the rising sign, the sun is their identity. You see, if it's in the first house, part of their personality and who they are. You see, and the cosmic body, Uranus type body. So they're gonna be like looking like weird and different individual if Uranus is in the first house. So right here, we talking about these people love to be their natural self, and they like people to be natural. They want you to be your original self. They don't really like people to be copycats. So they like different people. They like to speak to different people. They might marry or hook up with different people or get in a relationship with different people. So differences means a lot to these people. And if you try to tell them how to be, they don't like that, and they will haul tail. They will get away from you. They will zoom out your life like snap of a finger, like they'll be gone, just like that, like snap of a finger, they'll be gone. And so these are your type who love their freedom, and if they can't be themselves, they out your life like this. And so they like the unusual places, the unusual vacation places, the unusual people, unusual or different people, or people who are different, and they like the unusual projects that nobody take on. And so they like that would interest them. They like to watch the unusual television shows, stuff that other people won't watch, and you be like, they watch something like this. They like to do things that's different and unusual that the norm don't do. Because these people are not normal. They feel like they're not that. If you see them, you'll think that they're odd, very odd. So they got a very progressive type of thinking, and they are your deep thinkers right here. So this energy right here, sometimes it can be very argumentative. You know, they don't like to argue, but they could do it just for the sake of rebellion. Sometimes being argumentative, being very expressing themselves and doing all that yelling. We're not really yelling, but arguing. Sometimes they love it. Sometimes they love drama because they don't like to be bored. Now, Aquarius energy, just like all the air and fire signs, don't like to be bored. But we talking about Uranus, the same with Uranus, because it's the same that's in Aquarius. So they don't like to be bored. Period. So they are very easygoing, and they slow to take offense or something. unless you got other placements in your natal chart. But so these people here are very honest. That's the thing. They're very helpful. And like I say, they don't like to be bored because that can really get to them. They can think of all type of stuff that can drive them crazy. So out of nowhere, they might just go crazy, or they might just act a fool out of nowhere because they don't like to be bored. So with this energy here, it's best for them to go out and get some air, go out in nature. This is how they flow because that air helps a lot. Taking a walk, or running, or riding a bike out in nature, something like that, or being out there, in the park. So with it being said, these people are definitely like your light bringers who bring that information, who bring that wisdom, who got an overflow of information within themselves. So they always looking within themselves for knowledge. So the intuition is very important. So they very much psychic naturally. It is what they do naturally. So these people always who has this Uranus placement strong or dominant in your chart, this your sun, your moon, or your rising with Uranus like Aquarius or your midheavens. These people definitely are people watchers. They watch everything. They're very analytical. They like to study the human behavior and the human nature and what makes a person tick, what makes their mind tick. So they could be your psychologist and everything else. So this is how smart these people are, super smart. And so these are the people who would give you a solution. These are your problem solvers too. So this is what we're talking about right here. Who bring solutions. So that's why they got a scientific type mind. They definitely just like a Libra and Gemini and all the air signs. They want to see everybody happy around them. So it's all about uniting, seeing people happy, and they can be behind the scene type people too if they choose to. Behind the scene type people, and someone could be kind of shy, but they're not shy. They're very expressive within themselves. They just got to be comfortable with you. Once they're comfortable with you, they can go miles and miles and miles and miles. But they're very expressive, just like a Libra, just like a Gemini, the other air signs. So we talking about Uranus here. Same thing, just like the Aquarius, the Uranus. It's super creative, imaginative, because this is the planet of Aquarius, Uranus. Uranus is the planet of Aquarius. So they're very inventive, and they are the ones who are your planners and the ones who can organize something if they choose to. But they always going off the grid, and they can be like your outlaws to society. So they be like the outlaws who people would treat different and see different, but people would see them as unique. They would see them like, I love this energy. They're just so different. And so that would mess people up alone. And sometimes their weakness could be trying to be that know-it-all all the time. Think they know everything, and when they don't know, see what I'm saying? When they don't study the task. Sometimes they do know. That's only when they're in balance. They could really be a know-it-all. But they always will be like a know-it-all to people. And sometimes they can act like they're the expert on every subject and things like that with this Uranus energy. But it's for them to listen sometimes and to let other people have their own wisdom sometimes and not to think they know everything. So this how they win too. They got a mean sense of humor, and you never know when they're gonna laugh. Sometimes they laugh like when you don't expect it, because this deal with the unexpected. And the things like this, things happen to these people unexpectedly. Like they might just win money out of nowhere, or even like it could be something bad happen out of nowhere unexpectedly. But it's mostly like something that's good because it's still the higher energy vibration. So also these people can be very stubborn because they got the fixed energy that's in Uranus could be all. I mean, the fixed energy that's in Aquarius could also be in Uranus. You know what I mean? So they can become that. But most likely they are Uranus itself is just free moving, free moving. And so the thing is that they could be like a daredevil. They got a daredevil spirit. So that's the thing. A daredevil spirit try things that's different, that's new, and you be like, did they just do that? I know this person didn't just do that, but then and then you think that's a bad idea. The regular people look at it like it's a bad idea, but it was a good idea all along. You see, that's what I'm talking about. So these people here easily draw people to them because they're very friendly and enthusiastic, and they got a hot acid tongue that'll cut people to pieces. That's only if people get on their downside or does something that's nasty to them. So the thing is, they love being different. That's the whole ideology of Uranus. A lot of times they are targeted by narrow-minded people who can't think like them, who can't think above like them. They are targeted by people who are on a lower attitude, a negative attitude, a lower frequency, because they can't think like the Uranus type individuals or souls. And so they try to come at the Uranus people. So the Uranus people deal with uh, electric type blue, different type of blue, and amethyst like purple, ultraviolet rays purple could deal with the crown. Uranus deal with the crown, and also how the energy flow through you. So when we talk about the Uranus people, these are the ones who don't flow with the rhythm. They go by their own tune, their own beat, their own truth. But sometimes they can lack confidence. They can lack confidence, and it could tear them down right here. So they need to keep their confidence up, because they can lack it sometimes. And the thing about these people, the wisdom is the future. The wisdom is also within them. They're so curious though. People with the Uranus energy, they're so curious. They got to know. That's why they always experimenting and trying out different things. Even with dealing with sex, they're dealing with anything. They're trying out all type of positions. Might even try, like, they might even be into homosexuality just to try it. And they might just try things to be your lesbians. Not all people who has this place, but I'm just giving you an example of how this energy work. They all trying something that's different and want to experiment, want to explore and stuff like that. So they very easy going and easy flowing and stuff like that. So they pretty much don't let emotion get too much in their way. Because they stay in their higher mind most of the time, so they keep their mind up there. You got to be able to reach these people, to get on their frequency, to get on their level of existence. So they're addicted to studying people's behavior, watching the news, studying people, talking about people, like all air signs, talk about people, but not like in a gospel type way, but in a studying type way. Talk about people's behavior and traits and learning them, you see, and learning that they got these different type of people in the world. So they know how people think and stuff like that there. And so when you got Uranus in the first house, so now we're going through the houses. When you got Uranus in the first house, these people we have inventive mind. They be in their higher mind. They take on unusual hobbies, and they interested in unusual things like that. And also, this is part of their personality. Uranus is part of their body, their personality, and who they is. So they look at things very differently. And the good thing about these people, they're original, they're creative, and they intuitive. But if Uranus is squares and opposed to something, or on the downside, these people can be very stubborn and weird, eccentric, and inconsiderate. And they the ones also can be so to themselves isolated and be very outspoken and blunt. They're already outspoken, but they can be very blunt right there when you got Uranus in the first house. So this is what their personality is. They got a high strung personality and an independent way of looking at things. Look at things differently. And so when you got Uranus in the second house, which is Taurus, because the first house is Aries, right? Uranus in the first house, that's your head, that's your personality, that's your mind. So the second house is what you value. It's at the throat. It's about what you value. I mean, what you express is what you value. So it deals with the income, deal with money, opportunities. It deals with what you into, what you value, stuff like that. So whatever they value, it will be different. They value things that different things will all be changing about what they value and things like that. And so the good thing about these people, they innovative, they very inventive, they're resourceful, and they got a unusual eye for value. So the way that they see things will be different in a genius way, what they value. But on the downside, if this is squares, oppositions, If they got Uranus squares opposition in this house or something like that, or on the downside in this house, they're taking sudden losses out of nowhere. Sudden things happen to them out of nowhere, bad things. Also, they having financial problems, and also they going through they making mistakes when dealing with money deals and everything right there, or investments, making a lot of mistakes and stuff and errors. And so if Uranus in the third house or in Gemini, you're talking about individuals who would have a different mind, a different way to speak and express themselves. So they would be the ones who have a different way of writing. The way they write will be different. The way they communicate will be different. But they will come up, be your philosophers who come up with all these ideas. They're very analytical, always observing, always watching. So they definitely could be definitely that psychic, because Mercury gonna help speed up what Uranus already is, which is speed of thunder and lightning. So their mind is lightning. They stay in their mind, they stay in their head, they overthink. So the thing is, the good thing is that they can be intuitive geniuses. They can be your geniuses. They're versatile. Also, like I say, they're like your creative artists right here, creative expression. But on the downside, the squares are oppositions in this house, or on the downside, you got people who are restless, people who will have trouble when dealing with thinking, or people who will make mistakes when they write, who makes errors when they think, who make errors when they communicate a lot, you know what I'm saying, when they express themselves. But so also they will have problems expressing their ideas and stuff like that. And they will have accidents while they traveling and stuff like that. If you got Uranus in the fourth house, or Uranus in Cancer or the moon, you talking about people in this house here. These people are, when we talking about family, like a Cancer really, or the moon really want to be with family. These people might be the ones who be different, who really don't want to be at family like that, or who the ones who create change in their family environment. You know what I mean? So they might go outside of the family, or they will have a difficult childhood growing up, or a different, they'll be different than how their family operate. They will create different behavior patterns. Also they will have a different relationship, like with their mother or with their family, like, because they different. So they'll always be seen as different, you know what I mean, since a child and stuff like that there. So they definitely will pick up a lot of emotions quick. Pick up on people's emotions quick out of a sudden. Like today, a person might say something about these people, but they didn't catch it today. All of a sudden, the emotion might come on the next day, where all of a sudden now they catch that emotion that they should have caught the other day when the person spoke bad about them, but they didn't catch it that day. You see, they have all of a sudden emotional problems, mood swings. All of a sudden, psychic gifts and ability to know a person's mind and know their thoughts. So that's the thing when you talking about Uranus in the fourth house right here. So the good thing is that they can be successful at entertaining groups, especially when dealing with the home, or wherever they feel comfortable at. But on the downside, they can be very disruptive and very stubborn in their family relations with people, or their family or their loved ones. They can have a bad dealing with their family or in relationships on the downside, or if Uranus is squares and oppositions in this house to any other planet in this house. So Uranus in the fifth house. So the fifth house deals with fun, creativity. So the way they do things, they will create something that's different. They will the way they have fun will be different. And so they come up with different ways to have fun, different ideas, and they don't mind. This their hobby being different. This their hobby creating things that's different. And so we talk about people who like to experiment when dealing with sex. They have many partners and stuff like that, and they do it for the scientific facts. So they like to study and dissect things for fun. They like to research for fun. They like to get in astrology for fun. They like to express themselves in the media. They don't have no problem going in the media and shining in this area, in this house. So when you got Uranus in this house, kids, they be very good. They got a unique way of dealing with kids. And so the good thing is that they innovative, and they are your creative genius, but they also got a creative expression. They can express themselves in different ways. Got many ways to express themselves, where they get so many creative ideas flowing through them. That's so good. But also on the downside, these people can be the type that don't want to have fun, or the fun could be very blunt, could be very nasty, could be very sour. It's coming out their mouth when they chop you down with their words. But also they might stay away from kids. They might don't have kids, you know what I'm saying, or children. Or they might stay away from sex. Or they might look at sex is something bad, stuff like that. When you're dealing with this house, the fifth house. When dealing with the fifth house, the house of fun and activities. So on the downside could be bad, a bad taste in their mouth. See what I'm saying? So when we talking about people in this house, they can be one of the great leaders in society that create something that's new in society, bring out new ideas and new inventions. And also they can be your great leaders in the world who just so different and so unique, got a unique style and unique tactics to do things. So only when squares opposition is in this house, or on the downside, they don't want kids, or fun don't be fun no more, or something like that. It'll be sour and everything else. It'll be polluted. Everything will be polluted. It'll be the opposite of what fun is, and they will act like the same. They'll act like the norm. They won't act like their unique self, their higher mind, and be in their higher mind, higher vibration. Right here. So when Uranus is in the sixth house of the house in Virgo or Mercury, Earth, we're talking about people who specialize in healing in a unique way. So Virgos already stay in their head, so they could have immune disorder constantly happening out of nowhere. They get sick out of nowhere, but also they will learn how to heal people, and they will learn from the claircognizant thoughts, but they can feel everything in their body out of nowhere. I mean, so they very much clairsentience in this house right here, because they get information all throughout their body like lightning, it's flowing through them. So they could be the master that's dealing with health. So these are the ones you will come to, talking about your counselors, your guys, you're talking about your therapists, you're talking about people who can help you help you with a proper diagnosis, because they probably been diagnosed themselves. They probably went through the same thing you went through that they're giving you. So these people can be very unique. Their experience is the best teacher in this house. And so these people here got many ways to heal, many ways to help you, and they want to help you. They want to serve. The way they do it gonna be different. It's not gonna be like the norm, the way they help you, the way they give to you. So don't look at these people as the type who gonna do things like the norm. They're gonna do it differently. The way they help you gonna be different than normal people. So the good thing about these people is that they can improve the old ideas. They can improve the old thinking about what health is. They can improve things and bring advanced knowledge to the health field, and to also not only to health, but also they can also come up with new ideas of healing, new ideas to philosophy that deal with healing, or wisdom that deal with healing. But on the downside, though, or when you got squares of oppositions in this house, these people can also not be consistent. You know what I mean? They can be all balanced, not organized like their true nature is in this house. They can be suicidal where they don't care about their health or care about anything in this house here. So they can be very sick and get very ill on the downside quickly. When you got or if you got squares of oppositions in this house. So when you got Uranus in the seventh house, uh, marriage, partnership, business, we talking about love, all that come out of them out of nowhere. They don't even know where it come from. Cause they might can't think of what love is. They might can't think of what a partnership is, and out of nowhere, they done found somebody to love. They done found partnership. They done found a good successful business. Out of nowhere, all these things happening for them. So right here, these people be your great marriage counselors right here. And so they would like to have partners with unusual people, be around, have an unusual business that people never thought of, stuff like that there. So the type of love they would give would be unusual. So this is like universal love right here, higher mind love. And so they're on a higher frequency. They can fantasize about love and put it into play. You see, they already know what love is in their mind. So when it do happen, it just happen out of nowhere, not when they expect it, but somebody just coming to their life, appear out of nowhere. Then all of a sudden, it might be a sudden divorce on the downside, or a breakup, a sudden heartbreak on the downside, or if they got squares of oppositions in this house. So anybody got Uranus in the seventh house, that's what it deals with. It also this deal with successful achievement in marriage, all of a sudden out of nowhere, out of the blue, and success out the blue. But on the downside, these people can be very independent. They could be jealous about people in marriage relationships, or jealous about people who doing better than them, because this is the house of the good life. So this on the downside, they can be jealous of people who live in the good life. They can become a narcissist, very pitiful with it. So with this being said, when Uranus is in this house, it's how your mind thinking of the humanitarian nature of helping people, socialization, and deals with, and also spreading this love to everyone. So first, when these people master loving themselves and balance it out, they got the universal mind to want to spread love everywhere, not just one person, not just two person, but everywhere. So when you got Uranus in the eighth house of Scorpio, they got an unusual outlook, or a different outlook on life, on death, a different outlook on death, a different outlook on sex, a different outlook on what spirituality is, and also the sexual tastes or environments is most likely to be different. It'd be unique, be something you never heard of, different styles. So also they may receive certain money and benefits from unexpected sources out of nowhere. They don't know how, but they just come up out of nowhere. Money just come to them. It could be from anybody. So the good thing about these people, they use their psychic gifts to help people. They use their psychic gift to heal people. And another thing, good thing about it, if they tap into the psychic gifts, they use it for these things, but also they feel a responsibility to help others and to aid others. So that's a good thing about it. They got your best interest at heart, and they're loyal, and they're reliable, and they're strong. They do their own thing. They don't ride nobody's coattail. We got Uranus in his house, because Uranus power gonna be different. Their higher mind is their power, so they stay in the higher thoughts, higher vibration. So on the downside, or or if they got squares of oppositions in this house, they can lose a lot out of nowhere. They can lose a business deals. They can lose through sex, have AIDS, or have diseases, or they can lose when dealing with spirit and go crazy, be mentally ill, things like that. They can go through a lot, even suffer with a lot of deaths in their life, people dying and stuff around them. When you got Uranus in the ninth house, and this is Sagittarius, you talking about the universal mind right here. These people got an independent mind, independent way of thinking, and a unique way of thinking, and they want to always advance in their thinking, advance in their mind, and expand their consciousness. And so that's the good thing. They always love to learn, and they might learn. They want to know about things that normal people don't study about. They want to learn about things that's so different, and so the way they have fun will be different. They want to travel different countries that people never thought of. They want to explore things that people never thought of. They're very adventurous spirit. So they want to experiment some of everything in this house. It's all about not only the good life or experiencing life, but they want to learn. So it's all about wisdom. The way they get wisdom will be different, being unique, and also loving unique things from unexpected people, from unexpected places, from unexpected knowledge, unexpected things. So this is how they will gain their wisdom, their knowledge. But also on the good side, they are open to new experiences and trying out things that's different and being adventurous. That I mean, but if they got squares and oppositions, or on the downside, if Uranus in this house got squares and oppositions to it, which is squares of opposition to Jupiter, on the downside, these people can be very rebellious, like. You know what I'm saying? Because they love to explore, not only out physically, but like to explore in the mind, like explore science, explore metaphysics, explore astrology, explore numerology, try different knowledge, different things. So on the downside, it can be very rebellious against people's ideas and their thoughts, rebellious against how people move and how they think. But they also can be the ones who fight against people who different than them out of nowhere. They swing on them out of nowhere because the archer this slingers, shoot a shot out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So you gotta watch out for the people. They got a quick temper, this explosion out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So with it being said, this is Uranus in the ninth house. When you got Uranus in the 10th house, this is the house of careers, skills, the house of organized, organization, being organized, being neat, being clean. But also this is the house of uh, growth that's slow growing or limitation, restriction, and this is the house of hardship. So the way these people with Uranus in the 10th house go through hardship will be through when dealing with the mind. Will be uh something because they're trying to be different. They have a hard time trying to be different. They have a hard time where people are always picking on them because they're different. So they will go through things about being different. So it can be so hard for these people to be unique or be different. They want to be different, but it'll be hard for them to do it until later years as they continue to get older, they get more wiser, and then they express themselves, and the type of business they have and job they have will be different, and they'll make money from their unique ideas. They make money from their intuitive genius business mind. And so this is how they will come up and they will achieve up the ladder more than anyone and probably own corporation by having a new invention in the world. And so these people, the good thing about these people, they have original, innovative, and inventive mind. But on the downside, or if they have squares of oppositions in this house, if Uranus have squares of oppositions in this house, they have difficulty dealing with people in authority, and they have difficulty dealing with people who are different than them. And also they have difficult dealing with people who trying to hold them down and oppress them. So they can be very rebellious against that. You see? So in this house here, these people could be rebellious against being broke and poor and stuff like that there. So but in this house, they can achieve through their higher mind by using their cognitive intuition, sense. You know what I mean? Coming with their unique ideas and putting it into the world through manifesting in this house. So they can work very hard to achieve their goals because they got the persistency that keep them going. But also they can be very practical and grounded in this house because they can be your healers. Also your master teachers, your master who master their mind, who master the spirit. So they can be into spirituality, spiritual healers and teachers. When you got Uranus in the 11th house in its own house, which is Aquarius, this makes you more Aquarius, more higher mind, more unique, more different. You know what I mean? So this add more flavor to the juice. You know what I mean? So this makes you more friendly, more attached, more attachments, to friendship, and also to makes you more attracted to people with unusual ideas, with unusual interests, who are different. You know what I'm saying? It makes you more attracted to people from all walks of life. It makes you more in your mind, more in your head, more with the scientific solutions to life, more into the hidden knowledge in the world, the occult. Make you more into metaphysics, more into astrology, numerology, into any divination. Makes you tap more into the truth and pouring out the truth to the world. Makes you more with the humanitarian, idealistic mind and having solutions to all the issues that go on in the world or stay on the topic. Makes you more into people and showing your love for people, being more social and more communicative and expressive to people. And so it makes you more ambitious, and you often thought of as a unique personality. So the good thing is about you is that you're lively, you're fun loving, but you very inventive. You got a inventive attitude, and you're ambitious when it comes to achieving your goals. But on the downside, or if you got squares and oppositions to Uranus in this house, you might suffer. Might suffer from dealing with the mind, or you might suffer from not having nobody to talk to, or being isolated from friends or family, or you might have quick emotional upsets and stuff like that, and go through things to deal with your emotions where you be off balance and having mood swings and having shutdowns. But you get right back up because Uranus is the planet that never stay down because it's fast moving and it's like lightning. So you can be very emotional and explode. When Uranus is in the 12th house, this is the house of psychic skills and ability. So your uniqueness will come from your intuition and your psychic gifts and ability and your healing abilities. Your gifts will come from your creative expression, your creative powers. You got a lot of that within yourself. And from you spreading unconditional love. And also from your belief in spirituality and metaphysics. So you have to trust the spirit. And so your differentness being like coming a different way, the way you present yourself when dealing with spirituality or divination. So you'll be different in that aspect. You love to be unique when dealing with your spirituality. So you love spirituality. And nobody can turn you against because you feel like you're in your higher mind, when you're divine, when you're spiritual, when you're feeling like you're close to God, when you're close to the spirit or close to nature or the universe. And you need to be independent in your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And you fight against limitations. You definitely don't like to be trapped at all because you're very sensitive. All of a sudden you have emotional meltdowns and you snap, and you the type that out of nowhere just escape. You don't know why you're going through. You go through so many emotions out of nowhere. You just going through emotions. Don't know why. Having all this energy everywhere. Sometimes you can't deal with it. That's why you got to master yourself. Once you master yourself, this is when you become your best self, and you definitely will have the universal mind. Not only universal mind, but universal spirit. But not only universal spirit, but universal emotions of achievement, of mastery, where you can teach others about the mind, the spirit, and about the soul essence, because you are the old soul. And so you definitely, the good thing about it is you could be the humanitarian and have compassionate and unconditional love for people and showing people what unconditional love is and walking that path. Because you're very creative. You're very got a creative expression. You're very fun loving and very peaceful individual. So you don't need to be in any bad toxic environment, because just like the lightning strike, you can easily get emotional, easily go through it, easily be the escapist. So the downside is that, or you got squares of opposition in this house, you can have unexpected problems going on that deal with the spiritual world, where you feel like spirits attack you, or you can melt down and have so many emotions flowing through you where you don't want to deal with people, and you can get into habits like drugs, alcohol, and any type of habit, even sexual habits where you catch diseases and stuff like that there. So that's the thing when dealing with this place. So you have to face your problems and face what you're going through. And you could do that with the higher mind of Uranus in this house. So this being said, I think I know. I ain't gonna say I think. I'm gonna use the Uranus word. I know I brought you this light. And stay tuned to my next audio or video, as I can't bring you this light. It gets no redder than this. Or shake.